No, I got you on this one, Coach. It ain't nothing. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. The fanatic. But we keep it 100, keep it real. That's the only way we know how to be. Talking that sports talk. You know what I'm saying? Straight out of South Carolina. Upstate, A64. Yeah. The FANATTIC. The fanatic where we keep it OG. We talking sports, so I call what I see. I love the fans like they part of my team. I love the fans like they part of my team. Come rock with me. We got it jumping like it's that valley. I call my dogs out the pound, let's go eat. Turn on the fanatic, let's have a debate. Who really hold down the southeast from state to state? What team hungry gon' eat everything up off they plate? Who the next one that's really gon' step up and be great? Yeah, the FANATTIC. The fanatic where we keep it OG. We talking sports, so I call what I see. I love the fans like they part of my team. Yeah, part of my team. I love the fans like they part of my team. Yeah, part of my team. I love the fans like they part of my team. Yeah.
Welcome into the Fanatic Sports Channel for sports fans by a sports fan. It's your boy Coach I. All right, man, it is game week. The Dogs are gonna go duck hunting this week, man. And this is the Inside the Locker Room presented by the Tailgate Kings. All right, man, we ain't playing no games today, man. We're going to go ahead and bring our host on, hostess with the mostest. Of course, the first one up, always bringing the energy. He get the energy for the whole show, man. It's my boy, E-Rob. What's going on, E?
What's happening, Coach? Listen, man, it ain't week 0 no more. It's dog week this week. You know what I'm saying? And I'm dead serious about it. Ask my neighbors. I'm out there doing wind sprints. I'm out there bear crawling. You know what I'm saying? I'm dead serious. I'm going to be a tailgate All-American this weekend. You hear me? Only I can do that. So, look, I know I got a head start on everybody else because I know y'all ain't been training like me. Get your mind right. See me this weekend. What's happening? Tailgate King.
Tailgate King, man. Hey, see him down at the Benz, man, 35 Northside Drive, man. Let's go ahead and bring on the man, the host.
Get your wind sprints in. Let's go.
We got JV, Jevaris Johnson. What's going on, JV?
What's up, fellas? What's up? Hey,
what's up?
I love it. I absolutely love it, man. Another most epic intro leading us into the game week, bro.
Dog week.
I appreciate dog week.
Let's go.
Can you swear?
Let's go.
Hey, man, looking forward to tonight. Looking forward to some great conversation, fellas. I'll be home in a second, but looking forward to it.
Got
on the road.
Legend on here.
That's right, man. Somebody that's actually already stationed there, my man Corey Allen, wide receiver, UGA. What's going on, Corey?
I mean, E-Rob set the table, man. I'm just here to knock down these chips, just like he set them up. It's game time, baby. I mean, there's no better opportunity than right now to really prove who we are. Let's go ahead and get this season started the way we wanted, and we couldn't ask for a better opponent. You know, a highly ranked opponent, a coach that we're familiar with. Yep. It's time for the rubber to meet the road, so let's go ahead and crank the party up.
That's right, man. Last but not least, we got our guy Shawty there. Parker, what's going on, Shawty?
What's happening, fellas? What's happening? I'm happy to be here like every week. Glad to be back with the fellas, man. I'm always happy when we have guests on the show, but I'm a little bit more particularly happy this week. I had a chance to see this guy come in. Not only come in, I had a chance to play with him, and not only play with him, I got a chance to see the rest of his career just flourish. So I'm happy with the guy that we have on this week. Another good week, guys. Let's get it.
That's right, man. Before we jump into our usual start, man, let's say hello to the dogs in the Fanatic. We got Shelby. Let's go, Shelby. She say, I'm here. Go, dogs.
That's
right.
For
That's
Shelby.
Right. Got our guy. Nah, she said she gonna miss out on this one, man. Got our boy AP in there, Dog Nation. Time for another great show. Now we got Travis in the building. What's going on, Travis?
TP.
All right, we got us Stephen Coffee in the building. Say let's go dogs. All right, now that's what's going on. Sarah say she wearing red all week.
Let's go. Let's go.
All right. Okay. So we got us. I got Cool Cal, the coolest fan in the land, not gonna be able to join us tonight. But y'all saw the thumbnail, man. We got Terrence that was waiting in the wings, man. He gonna be right up in a minute, man. But y'all know how we get it started, dog. We got to go in here and we got to do our start bench cut, dog. So this week's start bench cut is on E-Rob's side of the ball. You know what I'm saying? We got three of the best to ever do it in that backfield, man. These safety, we talking about Sean Jones, Bakari Rambo, Thomas Davis. That's right. Hey, I ain't trying to make it easy, but hey, all these guys can start for any team and could have started for any team in the nation, man. But y'all got to go through them and pick them. So we're gonna start with E-Rob since this is his side of the ball. Then we're gonna go JV. Then we're gonna go CA, and then we're gonna go Thad, and I'm gonna exit stage left. Go ahead, E-Rob.
Well, you're wrong for this right off the bat, man. I just want to be really clear on that. You're wrong for this, coach. But look, okay, this is a tough one. So who I'm going to start? First of all, I love all three of these guys. So I mean, I want to go ahead and give them their
caveat.
I know, you know what I'm saying. I got to get that. Yeah.
Disclaimer.
Yeah, I'm giving a hard whack. All right, so I'm gonna start Sean Jones, and here's why. I think Sean Jones I think Thomas Davis was the biggest hitter of them all. I think Bakari Rambo was the ball hawk, and I think Sean Jones was a mixture of the two. So I'm gonna start Sean Jones, and then I'm definitely going Thomas Davis second, because Thomas Davis, I'll never forget him. I'll never forget his time at Georgia. Some of the hits that he laid out on people. I mean, these are all-time licks. He was a doggone good dog, and I just love his game. So that's that. I'm gonna say that. And then Bakari Rambo, I mean, he just had a nose for finding the ball and making big plays. I gotta cut somebody. I'm gonna have to cut him. And yeah, I'm going to somebody else. I don't even want to talk about this no more. JV, who you going with, man?
Hey, man. So once again, E-Rob, I thought that you were right in line, because I'm going to actually follow exactly as you did. So, of course, I'm going to throw out the caveat. I thought.
Look at him. We trying to dodge the question.
I think we got him. I'm going to jump in there. I'll save him. I like how he did that. He just froze up, and it's still that way. Oh my goodness! I'm not giving the caveat.
Hey, that like that. Say JV got to put some more quarters in there, man.
Put the quarter in the game, baby. It's time to play. Look, Coach, if I got to go down this road, you know, it's always a tough road, but I'm gonna go ahead and go down it. I mean, Erik put it best. You know, Sean Jones was a great combination. And one thing I think about when I think of these safeties, a lot of these guys had a great combo guy. They played right alongside them. You know, when I look at when I think Sean Jones, I automatically go Terrell Bieria. You know, when I look at what a guy like Thomas Jones gave us, I immediately go Greg Blue. You know, so these were some great guys, a part of some great combinations that we had a chance. When you have great safeties in the SEC, your team is going to have success. So I'm not changing a whole lot of anything. We got Sean Jones with the start. We got Thomas Davis coming off the bench, and I'm not cutting Bakari Rambo, you know, but that's just the position he holds. So that's my order. I'm sticking to it, man.
It is, Shorty. Hey, I'm gonna be honest. I'm with the first two, dog. My order would be the same way, just for the same reasons they said. What you got, Shorty?
Well, actually, you know, a lot of this to me boils down to just personal preference. But one thing I will say is, when you're talking about the strong safety position, that's one reason I didn't like this, because I didn't know we were talking about free safety, strong, or whatever. But when you talking about the strong safety position, I got to go Thomas Davis. I'm the way he played the game, the way you line it up, the man can play linebacker, all strong safety. You got a hell of a player. So he got to get on the field. I'm starting him. But just in my opinion, that once again, this is just personal preference. I had an opportunity to play with Sean. Sean Jones probably the best athlete at safety out of all these guys. Matter of fact, probably I don't know if I know another safety that we had that was as athletic as Sean Jones.
Probably. Lewis Seen probably the closest.
A hooper, a Cole Hooper too. But
when I say athletic, I ain't just talking about running fast. I'm talking about an athlete can play multiple sports, do it, an athlete. So with that being said, I'm going to go Sean Jones. And unfortunately, once again, it came more down to a little bit more personal preference. Rambo would have to be benched. But taking nothing away from him.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Taking nothing away, but Carter Rambo is tied with Dominic Sanders and Jake Scott for the interception leaders. So he was, like E. Rob said, man, he was definitely a ball hog. Let's see if we can get JV in here since he tried to escape the question. Let's see.
I apologize, man. I had to feed the hamster real quick. Now he's turning that wheel. He got the internet back on. Is at full strength, full go. So, hey, again, I'm going to ride along with the sentiment of E-Rob. I'm going to still go with Sean Jones. I thought that he was probably the most dynamic safety. And I was, to Shawty's point, I was thinking, really strong free safety. So if you're thinking free safety, to me, it came down to him and Bakari, who was going to be my starter. I just got to play Thomas Davis because he's a multi-dimensional player on that defense that, again, Shawty's point, great points there, Parker, this afternoon, already early on the show. This man plays safety and linebacker, went down into the box, and actually, I've never seen him go backwards on a tackle, ever. I've never seen this man go backwards on a tackle, and I've looked for it, never seen him go backwards. So for me, especially in college, for me, those were my three. I'm going to start Sean Jones. I'm going to have Thomas coming off of the bench, and then I'm going to have to reluctantly cut Bakari Rambo, but he still was a hell of a baller. So says my dog. That's right. That's it for me. Can people hear me?
All right. What? Who else got in here?
I got muted. Was he the biggest of the three? Thomas Davis?
Thomas Davis was. Yeah, Thomas Davis was the biggest. I don't know about the fastest. Hey, JV, you got to get some headphones, dog. You got audio feedback, my man. All right. It's time to bring in our special guest of the week, man. You all know him, man. He is the top four all-time leading career receiving yards in the SEC. He's UGA's all-time leading receiver, and he's the last receiver at UGA to have 1,000 yards in one season. Hey, man, that's saying something. And right now, he got his own wide receiver academy, man. We talking about Terrence Edwards. What's going on, TE?
Man, just listen to y'all, man. Y'all got me hyped up over here. ready to go. Man, go put some pads on and go catch a few more touchdowns. Man.
How you feeling about that start bench cut? I had to give it to him, TE.
That's about right. And I played with Sean and Thomas like for a lot of years, and it was I get a little more insight. Thomas, man, y'all need to hear the story of how Thomas even got to Georgia. In this day and age, the way we recruit, Thomas probably wouldn't even got to Georgia the way we nationally recruit. Thomas was a no-star. The coaching staff watched Thomas play basketball, just saw how athletic he was. They was just like, let's get him to Athens and we'll figure it out. And he became a damn good dog. And Sean Jones was an ex-quarterback. Nobody even brought that up. So even transitioning from playing quarterback to free safety, that just shows you the type of athlete. And Bakari, man, we all love Bakari. 19 interception, I think it was. That's not a fluke. So those are three outstanding safeties. But I also got to go with Thomas and Sean Jones and have to cut Bakari.
Yeah, that sounds about right. Like I say, all good dogs, man. All did a lot of good things at their time in Athens, man. We got these three wide receivers on here, so, man, we're going to go ahead and jump into it and talk about, UGA offense versus that Oregon defense, man. Like, I want y'all to go through and we'll take turns, man. Just assess our skill players on offense, man, and the challenge that it's gonna present for Oregon to stop it. We're gonna start with the guest of honor today. Terrence, talk about them skill players, man. I mean, everybody know about tight ends, but we got tight end, wide receivers, running backs, all that, man.
Well, let's just start off with the quarterback, man. I think everybody talk about the quarterback situation. I, for one, I don't know how everyone else feels, but I, for one, would love to play with Stetson. I think he's a gamer. I think he's a guy that people don't give a lot of credit to for what he did last year. Everyone always want to talk about how the defense led us, but you think about the national championship game. I think it was down 18-13. The defense didn't throw those touchdown passes to get us back in that game to win it. So Stetson did enough to help us win. Now, it's got to be on his shoulders. He's experienced. He's a 3-year starter. He understands what Todd Monken and the offense is trying to do. I think Kirby will allow him to just be him and just accept some of the times he's going to make one of those plays like Brett Favre was like scratching our head. So I think Stetson is going to prove to be more than a game manager that people have labeled him. And one of the guys that I'm really looking at this year is Kenny McIntosh. I think he's a versatile running back. I think he's a mixture of Swift, with him being able to catch the ball out the backfield and also being able to just put that foot in the ground and make one cut and go. He catches the ball like James Cook. We can line him up outside. We could do a lot of things with him within the offense that's going to make him very versatile against the bigger linebackers that Oregon's going to present. They're not the typical 220-pound linebackers anymore. They got a guy that's Samoa. I can't remember his name.
Noah Sewell.
We actually was very high on his list, but he was like a 260-pound linebacker coming out of I think Utah, and he's going to present a problem, I think, for him trying to match up with those guys. And I know our old DC is not going to line him up against our backs because he understands what those backs bring. And that's just what I see. I'm really looking forward just for Stetson to continue to be Stetson and how we're going to do at the running back position, losing Zamir White and James Cook.
That's what's up, man. So, Shawty, man, he talked about Stetson and Kenny, man. Who else out there? We know about Brock Bowers, so we're going to leave Brock Bowers off the table, man. Who else out there? Assess them weapons, man, because we can't throw it to Brock Bowers every single play. You know what I'm saying? So tell us what we got out there when we go in to face Oregon this weekend.
Well, one thing about our offense this year is total opposite of coming into last year, which was a flip-flop on the defense. We're going to actually be experienced. Most guys coming back on offense are going to have a lot of film up on their belt already. That's going to allow us to do a lot more on offense than we did last year in terms of the playbook opening it up for Stetson. And one thing about Oregon linebackers is that I think we got the best, equalizer in the game, which is our tight end room. I think our tight end room is going to present major problems for whether it be their linebackers or safety. I just don't think they're going to be able to match up with them. As Terrence said about one of their linebackers, you're talking about a 260-pound linebacker, 250-pound linebacker, trying to check who in our tight end room? Nobody.
They all can run.
Right.
Yeah.
And to the running back, I think we talked about this in some earlier episodes. I think we all think that our running back room has the potential this year to be more explosive than they were last year as a total group. I think these guys in the running back room are a little bit more dynamic. Each one of those guys have a little bit of all of what those guys had last year. You may have Zamir with the power. You may have had Cook with a little bit of change of pace. McIntosh and Milton both have all of that in one. And I'm very excited. I think I mentioned this early in the season too. I want to see Edwards get some snaps. I think the kid has been there long enough. He's worked hard. And every time he touched the ball, he run like it's his last carry. So I'm very excited to see him get some snaps. And once again, the wide receiver position, we got the springers coming back, baby. A.D. Mitchell, can't say no more about him. Who one of the guys who becoming my favorite player because of some of the things that CA say, 84 McConkey. Every time he get in, he play like it's his last play, and he make big plays.
And he faster than people know too.
Oh yeah, clearly. So I think we're solid 1 through 4 at the receiver position, and I don't see our offense really having that much difficulties in defense in terms of matchups.
Okay, CA, what's something on Saturday that you say our offense has to do on Saturday to come out with the victory over the Ducks?
I think our main focus, I think the thing that we'll be able to lean on is going to be the offensive line. What my offensive line does as far as dictating the pace, controlling the line of scrimmage, making sure we can move the ball however we decide, and make sure we're fluent in that movement, I think is going to be dictated by the offensive line. So I'm really looking at how we control the trenches. I understand they have their strength at the linebacker position, but it's going to be up to Todd Monken to create mismatches with those running backs. And I feel like that running back room has always been strong. It hadn't let me down in 20 years, and I don't feel like it's going to be this weekend that I'll feel differently. So, my biggest question mark really is just like everyone else is going to be at the wide receiver position, only because a lot of those guys haven't had a lot of opportunity to prove themselves outside of A.D. Mitchell and Ladd McConkey. So we're excited to see what can transpire, what opportunities might step up or what players might step up. But I think the key will not only be the offensive line, but I think Coach Monken is going to put a lot more on Stetson's shoulders. I think we should expect growth from Stetson. I don't feel like he's going to be the same kid who looked horrible down in Arkansas. I don't feel like he's going to be the same player who won us the national championship last year. He's going to have to be better. We're not that team. So the leadership, the execution, the responsibility is going to lie heavily on his shoulders. He's not just in Athens collecting NIL checks. He's got a job to do, and it doesn't lessen because he's done it one time. So, I'm looking forward to it, and we'll see what the offensive line and how my quarterback leads. But I am interested to hear what Terrence Edwards feels about my wide receiver position because, we all have mentioned some of the same names, and we've had guys go in and out of Athens. Terrence, I just want to throw it to you one time. Give me your specific knowledge on the depth at wide receiver because we always talk about the same 2 or 3 guys. What can you tell me that we obviously don't know, but going into the season we need to be ready for?
Good question.
Well, I think we're very deep at that position. I think we got a lot of guys that at some point have made a lot of plays for us. So let's just throw out Dominique Blaylock. I thought Dominique Blaylock was just as good as George Pickens as a true freshman. He made a lot of plays early on before he tore his ACL. So it's been a long road for him, but if you read the tea leaves now, he's comfortable, he's confident in his knee, and he's made plays this whole camp. So I think getting him back is a plus. Kearis Jackson, you think about the 2020 season when I thought he was, for the first 4 or 5 games, he was the best receiver on our team. Well, people don't know last year he had a knee injury that was him all year, so we didn't see the explosive Kearis Jackson from the 2020 season last year. So we get him back healthy. So that's an experience. And it's just, I'm biased, but those Middle Georgia football players, man, they just tough. He's from Peach County. And those are just,
there you go. Look at
hey, man, those Middle Georgia, man.
Sing it.
We just,
hey, man.
we just tough. We just tough. And he's just one of those Peach County, Randy McMichael, just tough football players. I'm going to give you a name that, myself on the back a little bit. I was the first one that kind of threw out A.D. Mitchell name last year before he even played. I get opportunities to Kirby.
I remember.
Go in, just watch. And my name this year is another one of those underrated guys, highly recruited out of Texas. The Texas schools did not want him. Dylan Bell, the young true freshman.
Yeah,
Shawty brought him up last week.
I don't know if y'all seen this young man in person, up close. We all played. There's some guys that just don't fit. And we're like, he must be a walk-on. He just didn't fit. I'm like, I was there with Bobo and there with B-Mac. And I was looking at this guy, I was like, that right there, Bobo, he must be a walk-on. He said, no, that's Dylan Bell. This cat is 6'1", 215, made up like a running back.
Thick, yeah. Yep.
So now, okay, that's the guy. I watched him. When I'm telling you about a guy with sweet feet and his hand are so natural, that was like, oh my God. So after I kept watching, I'm like, this guy can get in and out of his brace. He just like gushed over this guy to Bobo. Bobo gushed back to me. So Dylan Bell is a guy that I'm looking for. I'm not saying he's going to make some plays early because A.D. Mitchell didn't make plays, but he's going to have a role for us this year. I don't know what that role is going to be, but Dylan Bell is going to be able to make some plays. And just one guy that I want to throw out there that I'm just so upset that he just cannot shake the injury bug is Adrian Smith. Like, it's the Smith
Number
kid.
11. Yep.
Aaron Smith.
Aaron Smith brings, I don't know, like, I've been up close to it, and that cat is probably the fastest receiver that's played at Georgia. Like he is straight line, take the top off, natural. Like, and I talked about this on Dog Nation, like, he's a guy that going to affect the game, and he don't even catch any passes. Because now what do you do? Do you keep a 2-high shell, or do you keep a 1-high shell? Like, what do you do to take away his speed? Now, if you have a 2-high shell, that leaves one guy less in the box, and we can run the ball, we can use up. Now, if you have a 1 safety there, now do you leave this guy on the island? So I'm just very, just disappointed that he cannot shake off the injury bug. He's a guy that I've been talking about that could change the game without even catching passes.
That's what's up, man. Great question by CA and great follow-up with by TE, man. Giving us some inside knowledge on that whole wide receiver room, man. Let's go ahead and flip on. We brought our boy E-Rob and JV back on. JV, let me unmute you. You good to go. We're going to talk about that UGA defense versus Oregon, man. We got some new pieces in that front seven. We got some new pieces in the back, but I think more so those middle linebackers. JV, give us your take on what needs to be happening Saturday, man, for that defense to stop Bo Nix again for the 4th time in a row. He transferred and we still can't get away from him.
Hey, listen, man, we love Bo Nix. Let's just go ahead and throw it out there. We love Bo Nix. Couldn't be happier to see him coming into Atlanta in the Benz on Saturday. The reality is this, man, we still have a lot of talent on that D-line. And I think we had talked about it last week, the week before. The young guys that we have on that D-line, the returning starters that we have on that D-line, and the returning leaders that we have at that line and that linebacker core, I think are going to lead the way for our defense. You have some unknowns when it comes to Oregon because we don't see them much. We also have some opportunities that I think are going to present themselves because people talk about our incoming freshmen, but you know what? Their whole program is new. Everything is new. Playbooks, coaches, you have new players, you have people who are just trying to learn each other, period. So it's going to be I think a moment that is going to be beneficial for our defense to at least be able to play against some high competition. We're not going against a directional school as we come out the gate with the season. But I also feel like as that defense starts to begin to see a little more of the speed that's not their own players, they're going to adjust just fine because, again, I truly believe in what Kirby is doing, and he's actually putting them in position in practice. They come off the bus ready to play, guys. So I'm not really concerned about them not being able to adjust or things shocking them all game. I think it'll take them a quarter or so. But I think that because we have great leadership, and I think they're going to have great preparation, that they'll be able to stand the test of time when it comes against that offense from Oregon.
That's what's up. E-Rob, man, we got Keely Ringo coming back. We know he was preseason All-American. I think it's looking like Kamari Lassiter over there at the other corner. We got Chris Smith coming back. And then we've been hearing a lot about the kid Malachi Starks, man. Talk about that secondary, man, somewhere you played in, what you know, man. What's the challenges of having somebody that might have been on the team but didn't get no starts?
Well, here's the thing. So it's really interesting coming into this year. I think that our secondary is going to be our strength on the defense. And last year it was the biggest question mark. I knew the front seven was going to be dogs. I didn't know what we were going to get from the secondary. But this year's flipped. So I expect Kirby to do what he normally does. I expect him to have that group, and him and Muschamp to have that group ready to go. Here's the thing. I think the thing that's going to make our defense really strong this year is going to be about the front seven, how good they can be with all those the guys that we just lost. And here's why they're going to be good, Dog Nation, our offensive line. Our defense has to go against one of the best offensive lines in the country every day. So it's almost like when you playing baseball and you swinging that bat with a donut on it and it's heavy and you take that donut off and you swing it super fast. That's how it's going to be. when you take the donut off and they go against a team, an offensive line that's not our offensive line, it's going to be a lot easier for them. And I think it's going to be a little shocking. I agree with what JV said about a quarter. It's going to take about a quarter for them to settle in, and it's going to be really tough for Oregon to really do anything, in my opinion.
Oh, okay. So, T, I got a question for you. Well, every year, we like the past 4 or 5 years, we've brought back a lot of experience at that middle linebacker spot. They're normally the ones that lead the dogs on defense. We went from Roquan to Money Rice, from Money Rice to Nakobe Dean. This year, we bringing in some super talented guys, man, but they don't have that experience. Tell me what kind of problems that could present for us on defense.
Like I said this whole time, we lost 15 guys to the draft, and that's a testament to the development and the recruitment of Kirby. Mm-hmm. And their recruiting didn't stop when those guys left. The only thing that these guys are going to be different, because the talent is still there. The only thing that we're going to be missing early is who is that leader on defense right now. And I know we have number four.
Nolan Smith.
Because Nolan is a leader. But when you have Nakobe Dean, you have Money Rice, you have those guys in the middle of the defense was the true leader and a baller, that says something. That's the only thing that I am worried about. Talent-wise, man, we have guys like Smile Monday. I'm really excited about the Walker kid that comes from North Carolina. His dad is a coach. Jalen Walker. I'm very excited about that kid. And I'm going to tell you this right here, Erik. I'm going to tell you a guy who's a star is Malachi Starks.
Hey, guys, wait a minute. Don't even say nothing else. Ask him who I told him about last week, who's going to be starting for – I'm telling you guys, he's probably the best. I'm telling you, dude, he reminds me of the dude at Alabama. What's the dude? Fitzpatrick. I'm telling you, this dude is special. Now go ahead and finish, T. I'm sorry, he's special.
He is. I've watched him a lot, and from when he was in Jefferson State. I watch all of these kids. I think he'd probably get mad because I know all of these kids. I watch all these kids from, man, the internet is man, they'll let you know. So I've watched these kids, and Malachi is that athlete that was like Champ, that just played everything in high school. Was a running back, was a quarterback. Like, he did everything. And I watched this kid, and he's huge. He started in the game. Dan Jackson probably will start because I think Dan just understands what to do back there. But Malachi starts.
He's going to start for Georgia at some point this year.
At some point, he's going to be there. And E-Rob, another thing about the position we play, I think this is the best group of secondary guys that we have brought in. From Ja'Cory Thomas is the other guy from Florida. I think it's going to be. And the three corners that we brought in, I think at some point it's going to be, man, the Singleton kid out of the Jacksonville is a true cornerback. Free. You have the Humphreys kid out of Texas is a track star running 20. So they're just speed. And the Dylan Everett kid that played out of IMG is just, you watch him, he's 6'1", 200, 205 right now. So I just think this secondary in a year or two is going to be what our front seven was this year.
But you got me crunk, T.E. You got me crunk over here, boy. I'm in my back pedal over here, baby. Let's go.
That group, if we stay together, we know how this transfer portal is. If those guys stay together and just say, man, we going to do it like those guys did. Y'all think about this with this transfer portal.
Let's go.
I've been saying this. You think about all the defensive players that got drafted this year. One thing all those guys had in common, they waited their turn. They waited their turn and decided what we're going to be, and turned out to be the best defense in Georgia history and one of the, I say, top 5 in college football history. Those guys stuck together and waited their turn. And now we all know these guys jumping ship. If they're away early, they're jumping ship. But these guys waited their turn, and we had 15 guys drafted.
But T dropping them bombs tonight. Dropping them bombs, boy. Let's go.
I was going to say, just to piggyback off that, too, what you have to understand, too, with the transfer portal, not only you have guys leaving to go to the league, then you got the transfer portal. That makes younger guys have to play sooner. Like right now, I think our roster consists of 33% freshmen. And a lot of those guys are going to have to play. So it's not like when we played, when we had to sit back and wait behind juniors and seniors. You got freshmen and sophomores that have to start, that have to play.
Yeah.
Thad,
So,
yes,
so
sir.
Thad, I want you to put your coaching hat on, dog. If you Kenny Dillingham, you the OC for Oregon, how you trying to attack this defense?
Well, the first thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna try to establish the run because at the end of the day, you got a whole bunch of new faces. I know you had the #1 defense the previous year, which was last year, but this year it's a show me kind of thing. I'm gonna try to establish the run. So if I think I can establish the run, that'll set up the rest of my playbook.
Yeah.
I'm coming at the interior line. The front seven will be tested.
Okay.
Often and early.
I think so too. We look like we got us an Oregon Duck in the house. Trello 1, what's up? Glad you're here, dog.
Welcome, Trello.
Yeah. But I'm with Shawty, man. I think if you're going to take advantage of this defense early, it's to go right at them because they got too much speed. And if you're trying to go east-west, which I know a lot of people say Kenny Dillingham didn't get to control the offense at Auburn because of Gus. He didn't get control of it at Florida State because of Mike Norvell. But if he keep up the same thing, he likes to go east and west. And when you're a young defensive player, you love east and west because all you got to do is see ball, get ball. But if you're running right at me, I got to read the keys, offensive lineman coming to the second level. So if I'm Kenny Dillingham, I'm with Shawty, man. I'm trying to establish a run. I'm trying to go right at us early because if you can't do that, I don't know pretty much anything we're going to be able to do. JV, what you feeling about how our defense is going to look against that offense, man? I mean, Dan Lannon, everybody been talking about how Dan Lannon know the calls and all that stuff, but I don't really think that makes a lot of difference. But he at least knows the strengths and weaknesses of the players that we got.
Hey, listen. We don't care what Dan Lannon know. We don't care if Dan Lannon know their mama. We don't care if Dan Lannon know their social security number, their phone number. We don't care what Dan Lannon know. What you don't have to do is put them Joes on the field against our Joes. And looking at the strength of the SEC, our strength is always in the trenches. Looking at the strength of the Pac-10, their strength has normally been on the outsides when they have had an opportunity to have a strength. And it's not in those trenches when they have to bear down against real, just Southern bred, cornbread fed guys who love to just eat folk for breakfast. They're gonna struggle on the O-line against our guys. That's how I feel. And if I'm the offensive coordinator, I ain't quite sure I'm gonna be trying to put that dive and that lead up the middle against these hungry animals. I may try and get them on the edges though. I may try and use a lot of the screen game to get started so that I can at least try to get guys off their kilter and put them on their heels a little bit, because you cannot let Georgia, even though we're young, you can't let us just tee off on them. You can't let us just dominate you one-on-one, and I think that's what we'll be able to do when it comes to the D-line and their O-line.
Okay, I got it. I'm definitely with it. It's going to be a task. I think Oregon bringing in some athletes, but with all the coaching changes, I think one of y'all mentioned it earlier, man, with all the coaching changes, it's going to take a little bit for them all to gel, man. For the dogs in the comments, man, y'all get y'all questions ready for the panel. Get your questions ready for TE, man, because we're going to do that here. We're going to do that here in a minute. What's going on, CA?
I think Oregon's only chance is they're going to try to go no huddle on us. They're going to have to rely on Bo Nix. They're going to have to try to see if tempo is their best opportunity against an inexperienced, when you look at relative to last year, our defense is inexperienced when you look at it on paper. So tempo might be their best opportunity to come out and try that mess Tennessee does. Try to emulate some of that, because when we get a chance to start rolling guys in and out, once we start to show that this depth will equal dominance, man, it can get ugly extremely quickly. So as soon as Kirby started rotating players, it's going to be bad for Oregon. But I feel like if they come out with some tempo, that might be their best opportunity. Will it last? No.
And I think scheduling their best opportunity too, with it just being the first game. I think that's probably
exactly. That's major.
I was on an Oregon show last week, and I told him, I said, if y'all was playing us second or third week and y'all only had 7 days to prepare, I was like, it would not be pretty. I was like, but because you've had all off season, that helps your case on Saturday because you've been studying nothing but Georgia. So in that aspect, CA, you right, man. Scheduling definitely, I think, helps them out. So now we're gonna get to the prediction segment. Let's bring our guys back in here. All right, man. We're gonna go around the horn. Before we get to any questions that the panel has for TE or any of the viewers got for the panel itself, we're going to go around and give our predictions of what we think the score will be on Saturday. I'm going to go ahead and get started. I think we're going to win 31-17. I think this defense is still going to be good, but I don't think it's reasonable to ask our defense to do what it did last year, holding people to like 6 points a game, 7 points a game, things of that nature, especially at the beginning of the season where it could be a lot of people going to be amped up. You know what I'm saying? Going to be some missteps here and there. So I think in 31-17. E-Rod, what you thinking, dog?
Oh, I like where you're going with that, Coach, but I'm going to say this. I think our offense is going to be a little bit more explosive than I think even the panel's expecting. So I'm going to say 41-17. With all the things you said about the defense, I feel like, we're probably going to give us some plays. Like I said, it's probably going to take about a quarter to find that leader that TE was talking about and for us to kind of find our stride and kind of like CA said, when we start dominating and just kind of overrun them with talent and just depth. So 41-17, we run away with it.
There it is. Viewers, put your score predictions in the chat, man. Put them score predictions in the chat. We're going to show them all. All right, TE, what's your prediction for this Saturday, man?
So we all football players here, and if they say this don't, if they don't say this has to do, we all superstitious. And if something works, we gonna continue to do it. If it don't work, we gonna trash it. So the last like 5 times I made a prediction, we lost. I'm just gonna predict we gonna win.
That'll work.
Hey, I'm with it. I'm with it.
So, hey, if it don't win, I don't care if it's 9-6 like it was against Clemson. I'm not. I laugh. I'm superstitious. I have no. We just think we got control. No.
Stay safe.
Georgia go win. That's
all right. Hey, that's the prediction. All right, JV, you up the bat, man. What you got, dog?
Hey, man, I'm gonna jump on the back again with that Oregon score. I think they're gonna get about 17 points, but I think we're gonna hit about 38 on those guys. I just feel like we just have too much coming back on that offense. We have a seasoned signal caller. We got the best room in the country. I ain't gonna even call it out by position, but y'all know what it is. And so with that being said, man, I think it's gonna be a long day for those guys again once we get our foot in, once we get these guys under some minutes and that first contact happens.
All right, Shawty. Hey, man, what you got on it, man? What you got on that score for us, dog?
I'm gonna go 4.
Say that again. We missed it. We missed it a little bit.
38-24.
38-24. Okay. Still a 14-point victory, but you saying they're going to get a little bit more scoring on that defense in that first game. I can see it.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. CA. Hey, man, you closing it down before we get to these score predictions in the comments, man.
Well, look at him, man. I'm here to get the people what they want, man, because I don't feel like 24 points is going to happen against this defense, even though it's new. I got 38. No, excuse me. I got 45-13, son. I feel like we will have a chance to put points up because we only gonna roll 4 and 5 stars on this field. It's not like I'm gonna give you a break in the third quarter. It's not like the guys in the fourth quarter will have lesser goals and challenges. And I don't see that ball once it gets to rolling. It's gonna be downhill for Oregon. So I think the momentum. We're at home. We're in front of our audience. The crowd will not let up. This is the first time we've seen these dogs since we won a championship. Man, please. You are just a victim. You are just a victim. So just show up. Wear your uniform. I hope it's pretty. I hope your uniform is beautiful.
They're going to be pretty.
Because guess what?
They're going to be sharp.
They're going to be sharp now.
They're going to be sharp.
Hey, Coach, let me say something real quick.
Go ahead.
Hey, so when I first got to Georgia, my roommate was Robert Edwards. So I remember this little dude, his little brother used to come up. You know what I'm saying? Man. I'm just saying, it's just funny. Look here, dog, bitch. Y'all getting some behind-the-scenes stuff that you don't get that here. But I remember seeing, Terrence used to come up, hang out, this and that. And it's refreshing, man. I remember when he came to Georgia, I was like, damn, a little skinny dude, you play quarterback, what is he gonna do? And then he ends up, he's the best receiver to ever come through Georgia. So it's just, I've seen this little dude go from a little dude to a grown ass man. You know what I'm saying? And it's good to see him. And tell your brother, stop running from your boy. Get his golf club. Let's go. Let's get on the golf club. Stop running from your boy. But no, it's good to see you, boy.
hey, I appreciate it.
I agree.
The first thing that I remember walking into that dorm room when we dropped Rob off, E-Rob had these big ass speakers.
They were bigger than the room.
Like that little, I'm like, say that to Matt. How you got those big ass speakers to fit in that room?
They barely did.
Hey man, that all matters.
Yep.
That's what's up, man.
Oh man, that's awesome.
Let's get to some of these scores. All right. Shelby says it's gonna be 34-18 Dogs. Okay, yep. I see it. You got AP says it's gonna be 34-17. Put it on the board. All right.
Brady Pate.
Duck fan Trello 1 say 31-28 Oregon. Okay. Listen,
Respect.
one thing I am gonna give Trello. I talked to a lot of Duck fans over the past 2 weeks, and he's the first one that actually said he was gonna beat us by scoring 30. I told him, I say, hey, man, this offense different than Athens, man. You trying to beat the Dogs, you got to put up 30. You ain't coming in there beating us 21-17, 17-10, none of that stuff. You got to put up 30. So that's what I'm saying. You got to put up 30 if you even trying to be in the building on that score, man. So good prediction, Trello. We'll see. Hey, make sure you come back next Tuesday. You know what I'm saying? To come in here now. Holler at us now next Tuesday, all right?
Yeah.
There you go.
LaDonna B said, let's run it back. The championship score, 33-18.
Let's go.
Shout out. That's how I like it. Let's see if we got some more in here. What we got in here? We got Carlo Butler say it's going to be 45-13, sounding like C8.
There you go,
that's my dog. Let's go.
All right. The stat guy say 38-10 Dogs. Okay, no respect. You say they barely gonna get off the bus and get in the end zone for Oregon. Okay. I'm with it, man. I'm with it. All right. We got look like we got us old Florida troll in here. He keep talking about a Florida Georgia score. Okay,
that's all right. That's just
that one Spurrier was the coach.
Yeah. Dutch say it's gonna be 41-9. He going even lower. Okay, ooh. Dutch. I
like it now.
What's up, Dutch?
Let's go, Dutch.
All right.
Brady Pate say 27-3. He say the defense ain't gonna have no drop off. We still holding them under 10.
We getting better by a minute.
I see.
That's another Bulldog too, Brady Pate.
Yes, Brady Pate, baby. Class of 96.
Shout out to Brady, man. Go Dogs.
Texas,
okay.
Yes,
okay.
Man.
All right, here we're at the part of the show, man, where we're gonna take questions from the fans and the panel if they got questions. All right, Thad, go ahead with your question for our guest to honor, my man.
Well, man, I asked all the
standard question.
Yeah, they're my standard question, Terrence. So we all in our respective rights were, great players coming out of high school. But when you got to Georgia, what player that you saw, where it's been from an athletic, knowledgeable standpoint, and you say, hey, this shit is real. I got to up my game. Whether it be me getting in the weight room, getting in the playbook, working out, or whatever it may be. What player was that?
This might surprise you, though. So position. Everybody knows a quarterback coming out of high school. Now switching position. Now I see this 150-pound receiver at ward number 3. Like, run routes like that's how I got to run routes to get open.
5'9".
Hey,
in your program.
I'm gonna tell you this, Charlie. I ain't never told you this, but this been me my whole life. I watch people from afar and added stuff to my game. And the way you released off the ball and the way you ran routes, I watched you. You never knew it, but I watched you incorporate a lot of things that you did into my game. So that's the person. Like, I was gonna wait to the end to give you all your flowers, but I tell you this: you the one That's when I really first got there that I watched closely. I like his release. They couldn't like.
Hey man, you know what's crazy? You got them shouted releases. Like those the same release. When I think about your releases in Athens, it is very similar to what Thad did. And I like that.
I watched it, man. I'm like, I gotta learn how to do it like that. So Charlie, I'm gonna tell you, was the one that I watched and I'm like, okay, I gotta be able that's because nobody couldn't jam him. And he ran routes and he may run a corner route and they run it to the post. So I emulate a lot of my stuff from watching you.
Now, Charlie, how much you pay? Charlie, how much you pay him to say that?
Respect.
What you hit him up? We hit him with the hot pick. He knew the crowd was coming. Hey, man, don't do that, man. That wide receiver. What's wrong with that, man? Hey, I got a question for you, though, TE. I got a question for you. This my standard question. All right, so when Keely Ringo intercepts the ball, crosses the end zone, and there's no doubt we're going to win after 41 damn years. We're going to finally win. Where were you, and what did you do? What was your reaction?
I was in the stands. I was at the game, and I'm just jumping up and down with people I don't even know and hugging. I just turned to whoever, to the left, to the right, and we just jumping up and down like teenagers. With that, I was right behind the band, and man, that was like we did it. Like we saw it in our lifetime. So I was in the stands jumping up like a crazy teenager.
That's what's up. We got a question from the viewers. Stat guy say questions for T. Edwards. What's the toughest road environment you played in the SEC?
Toughest road. I'll tell you a few. Auburn always gave me chills, man. When that eagle go around the stadium and he swoops down, that gave me chills. When we played there in the hobnail boot, that was probably the loudest I played in. When we was up and Travis Henry caught that screen, or Travis Stevens, one of those Travis, you couldn't hear anybody next to you when they caught that screen and we was up. I'm gonna tell you a stadium that's low key. Like South Carolina was another stadium with that cop going.
Don't do that, T. Don't do that. Listen, the stat guy. The stat guy. That's my co-host on my other shows, and he's a Carolina fan. Don't give him that satisfaction, please.
It's true though. It's true.
Man. Cue it up. South Carolina low key, a nice environment to go play in. But if I had to pick one that just got my blood, it's Auburn. It's Auburn.
Okay, that's what's up. All right, CA, you got a question? Let's go.
Well, Terrence, man, I'm a big fan of yours. Had a chance to watch you, just like Erik said. Having a chance to block for your brother for at least 3 years. Well, 2 years, but it felt like 3 because when he was at cornerback, I felt like I was blocking for him when he was fighting. Right. Goodness gracious! But man, number one, salute to you and your career, brother. As a man who played the position just like that, we watched you in awe from day one. I enjoyed it. Your contribution to what Georgia football stands for has been tremendous and continues to be. But I want to ask you about what's going on right now down South Georgia, Middle Georgia, in the House of Pain. The head coach down there is my former teammate. I want you to tell me what is it looking like down there in Waco, what needs to happen, and how is my homeboy going to get Washington County back on the map?
Great question.
So that's a good question. He's doing well. He's happy to be back home. Man,
shout out to Rob.
Haven't lived in Washington County since him and Erik Robinson became roommates in '93. So it's been a lot of years since he's actually lived in that town. Get to see.
It's gonna take a lot of work.
My dad every day. So it's gonna take a lot of work. It's gonna take.
Shout out to Mr. Edwards.
One thing he's done so far is brought the excitement back into Washington County football. AA school right now, but he almost dressed 90 kids.
Oh wow!
The last game.
Oh wow!
Dang.
From what I've heard, we've been averaging about 45 to 50. So one thing that he did, so he was going to walk these halls, and anybody looked like they could play football, hey, you want to come play football.
Got to have it.
So he'll
That's
achieve
a plus
that
being in the building.
Yeah.
Now he got to keep them excited. I think he's running it right now. As a running back, he's throwing the football. They got took behind the shed by a really good Swainsboro team last week, 42-0.
Woo!
He learned a lot about himself in that first game. And we all know when you get beat that bad, you got to look yourself in the mirror.
You got to look in the mirror. Yep.
I talked to him this morning on the way to work, and he on the way to school. He just said to me, he said, Terrence, I apologize to the team because I tried to coach them like I did Riverwood last year. And this is a different team, different situation. And his best player last year on Riverwood team was his quarterback. So he was top 3 in the state in passing. He went to Toledo. This year, his top player is a South Carolina commit that's a running back. So he just looked himself and he said he'll apologize to the team because he said he tried to do what he did last year. And he can't do that with this team. So he's going back to what best fits for this team, man. As a coach, that's what you look. And
that's what it's
on
about.
The point of that was about. So Kirby and company has to look about last year's team is gone. We can't emulate that team. That team will never. So what does this team do well? And he got to put the players in position to do well that for this year's team. And we can't live off what last year's team did. And he learned that after week 1 that this is not the team that he coached last year. So he got to go and look himself in the mirror and like, okay, what I got to do. I can't coach every team the same. He learned a valuable lesson, man, last week. Got took behind the shed, and we all been there now. You get yourself back up, dust yourself back off, get to work, and figure it out. So that's what he's done, and
look,
that's the big. I think the biggest
I have no
lesson
doubt
he's learned so far.
I have no doubt in Coach, man. Your brother, like I said, playing with Robert Edwards, I learned a lot about him. Whether he was a cornerback or running back, that's one of the most resilient people I've had a chance to go against or play alongside. So I expect him to continue to push through and make it great down there in Washington County. Glad to hear your feedback, brother. Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's what's up, JV. You got anything, dog, before we get up out of here?
Well, man, I want to kind of just throw a couple of flowers out there to Terrence, man. I really appreciate what he's doing and what not only what he's done, but what he's doing. This guy has one of the most prolific wide receiver training camps, regiments in the Southeast, man. He touches a lot of kids.
Yeah.
And with that being said, I want to ask you the question, T. Who is the next one? Who's the next guy who needs to be on the radar of the
Make sure
Dogs?
they come to Georgia now.
He can't pick his babies. He has to pick they all his babies.
Hey, look, who's that next guy that you're gonna be talking about 2 and 3 years down the road from right now?
So I got one this year, man. I got one that's different than everybody. JV, you brought your son to me, and I appreciate that you entrusting me of helping your son develop his skill set. But I like getting them as babies, man. I like getting them as 6th, 7th, 8th graders. I don't like to jump on a kid that's already established. So I would take them because I think I still can bring some value. But I like getting you as a baby when you don't know nothing. I like
you want to mold them.
Yeah, you
I want to mold them to the way the game should be played. As y'all can see, and JV can attest, cameramen out there at my session. I don't have videotaping everything. Why? Because that ain't what my passion is. My passion is to help these young men realize the dream that all of us have realized. None of us came out of school with student loans. I don't care about the NFL. One thing in our community is we that we always and that's one thing that I try to tell the kids that I train is I want you to come out of school with student loans. I want you to be ahead of
talk to them, man.
And sports can do that, right? I don't care about what school you go to. I don't care about Georgia, Alabama. I just want you to continue to play football and go for free. That's my biggest goal in my academy. But I got one man that I've been training since the 7th grade. His name is Caden Lee, and he plays at Kennesaw Mountain right now. When I tell you he got it, he's a wise, very similar to Jermaine Burton. And it's crazy that both of them are very similar. Mom is white, dad is black, so very similar to that. And it is a deja vu with both of them.
What year is it? What year is he?
He's a rising senior. So his top 4 right now is Georgia, South Carolina, Ole Miss, and Oklahoma. Check him out, man. Y'all Google Caden Lee. He played with C1N. When I tell you, Thad, he's a pure route runner.
Yes, he is.
So,
oh my God,
his body type again. What's his body size again? Because you know we big on body type.
Right now he's about topping almost at 6 feet, 5'11" some change, about 1 right now.
Okay.
He can play the slot. He can play the outside. Like, I wouldn't call him a straight burner, but ball is in the air, he's going to get it. Go check him out, man. You'll be surprised that he's going to make somebody program somebody better. So Caden Lee out of Kennesaw Mountain is a receiver that I had since the 7th grade. That is the next. But man, I mean I got babies, man, that's coming up. That's 7th, 8th grade. That I'm excited about, and I like getting them, man. I start all back over, like Erik and Jermaine, like all those guys. I started young, and I like getting them young. I don't like getting them when they're juniors, seniors. I will, but I like getting them as babies.
Talking about baby. Man. Your little babies out there looking like they finna tear up something too, boy. I see him out there. I see the tapes.
He got money. He got money on
that. Them little jokers out there tearing up stuff, man. Go ahead, them little elbow boys. They I got 2, man. 2 boys. Terrence is 12, and Troy. Troy is my athlete. Like, he is it. From straight athletic wise, man, he's fast. He's aggressive. He can catch. He'll hit you. Like, he do it all. Terrence is my thinker. Like, he thinks the game through. Like, he's probably not the athlete as Troy, but he's like, I would say, like, y'all played with Kirby. Like, Kirby wasn't the greatest athlete, wasn't the most physical gifted, but Kirby always somehow was in the right spot to make plays. Where the ball was,
Where the ball was. So Terrence is that. He's a thinker. He understands. If I brought him on and he talked football, I'd be like, this boy can't be 12 talking football like he's talking. So, man, and the thing about it, they love it. And I told them early on, don't play because daddy played. Don't play because daddy played. They was like, I put you in position as long as you want to do it. And they want to play, man. Like, I tell you this, like, Troy just getting over COVID today. That boy was kicking and screaming, throwing stuff against the wall because he couldn't go to practice. So when it's in him like that he don't want to miss and he love practicing, man, I just sit back and I don't coach him. I just sit back and be a parent at that time.
Feed the beast.
Yes, sir.
That's right, man. That's right. Anybody else got anything, man, before we get out of here?
Man, I'm going to say this before I go. And I'm going to talk about all of these guys. It's a connection right here. So I'm going to talk about Erik first because he's the first one that I met. So he already talked about, him Robert being his roommate. So that's the first big brother I got outside of my real brother at Athens. So I appreciate everything you did, Erik, just showing me love when I come up there. And
for sure.
Hey, man, you just don't know. Just talking about it. You the next one. Like, I'm a watcher, so I watch people. So I watched you as a youngster growing up. And then what you don't know you did for me, once you came back to school, you probably don't know this, but I remember this because it impacted my career. We playing LSU as a true freshman. As my true freshman year. I know that I'm just playing right now off of raw talent, raw ability. They playing inside leverage, and I got a slant. I have no idea how to run a slant on the inside leverage, but you probably do not remember this. I asked you this. You at the game on the sideline. I asked you this mid-game, and you gave me some game right then and there that just helped me out, and you probably don't even remember that. But that was big for you, and always just treat me like your little brother, just like you, Steven, man. So I appreciate that. And me and JV probably played the longest with each other, and just the nights that we had in Athens at 101 Diamond Drive, man. Man.
Wait a minute.
Right. I was just checking on my young folk, my homeboy, Terrence and Randy, man. Just make sure they didn't want for nothing.
That what you were doing?
I'm a generous brother like that.
And then for you to bring your son back to me, man, and that meant a lot to me. And I already talked about that, man. Thad just don't know how much I watched him. You know what? I was upset with Thad when I first got there because Thad was number 3. I was number 3 in high school. They had me in Hines number 19 in the spring, man.
Well,
let me go ahead and get that. Let me go ahead and get that 3. Thad wouldn't give it up to me. Then I tell you how I got 8. People don't know this, but y'all probably remember. Do y'all remember when John England decided to give up football in the spring?
Yep.
Man,
Yep.
I sprinted up to Coach Dunn office. Coach Dunn, can I get number 8? That's how I got number 8. It wasn't a choice.
Shout out to Johnny.
Shout out to Johnny E. Oh man, that's awesome.
Hey, Thad don't remember this, but what he said, man, your brother just made NFL. Tell him to cut me a check out, give you number 3.
That sounds just like that.
He said that, and I wasn't there.
He said that exactly. He said that.
I need number 3. Hey, so but man, Thad, man, I watched
y'all terrible. Hey man, that's still bad.
Hey,
that's still bad. Terrence, we know 100% you telling the truth.
The truth that he told me that. So that's how I remember everything about all of y'all.
Wow.
Man, I appreciate y'all having me on the show. And Thad, like I said, man, you didn't even know I was watching, man, but I was watching everything that you did, man, and incorporate into my game. So I appreciate that, man. I just appreciate y'all having me on, man.
Hey man, we appreciate you being on, man. Taking time. We know we know you coaching ball. You got the wide receiver academy. You got daily. You got appearances on other shows, man. We appreciate you coming on and kicking with the dogs. Getting ready to go duck hunting this week, man. So for all the dog nation out there, man, hey, Saturday is where it's at, man. And if you are gonna be in the ATL, man, check out the Tailgate Kings Run It Back Tailgate
All-American
down on 35 Northside Drive, man. Right before the game from 12 to 3. Go see it.
Shout out to my baby cuz Miss Candace Donaldson. That was I think it's a game.
There it is. All right, man. Hey, for my guys on here, Thad, E-Rob, JV, CA, our homie missing in action, the coolest fan in the land, Cool Cow, and our special guest, Terrence Edwards, man. This is Coach I. See y'all next week after we go duck hunting. And as always, go Dogs.
Go Dogs. What up, Tyrone?
Go Dogs.
Go Dogs.